Hi everyone, and welcome to some videos about using Redux with React. And I hope I'm going to make this really easy, because if I can understand it, anybody can. Let's do a quick review, because a lot of this Redux with React is about where you store state. So let's have a quick review of state before we actually add the Redux part. In a React component, you have, in the constructor, you have a declaration of some data area called state, this.state, and you can set some values like counter is 0. What's particularly special about state is that the React infrastructure pays great attention to it, and when it changes, it will call the render method on your component to re-render the output from that component. Number two is that you never actually alter the state object directly. You always call this dot state dot, and then you identify the field and how you want to alter it. In this case, we're incrementing the counter by 1. So let's expand that. Let's look at a collection of components, and this is how usually a React application stacks up. You have a collection or a tree of components, and the top component in a collection has the state. That's called a stateful component. And then below it, you have these other components which are stateless. They just actually output sort of HTML, and you pass properties to them. You pass values to them, just like you pass parameters to a function. So here you can see the state is actually stored within some of these stateful components. The state is gone. The state is gone from the React components directly. Here, where the red X's are where the state used to be. And we've now got the state stored in a central location under the control of the Redux JavaScript library. And that piece in the middle, the React Redux, is another independent JavaScript library which links the Redux store to React. So let me give you the formal definition of Redux. This comes, of course, straight off the internet. Redux is a predictable state container. It's a state manager. Actually, when you think about it more, it's nothing more than we've dealt with ever since the day began with computing. Somewhere we have a facility, a service, a JavaScript library, a database which manages data, in this case state, with a formal API that allows you to change it. That's what we have with Redux. So the first thing I really want to know is, why do I care anyway? Why do I need Redux? So the answer really comes in the situation where the applications start to get larger and you multiply the number of components you're using and the number of places that have state contained in them. So really what the issue is it becomes so complex to have the state scattered all around the application. It's easier to manage and better to understand it if you move the state to a central controlled location. And that's where Redux comes in. It provides that central location for managing all of the state in your application. There's many facilities and services that provide very much the same, a place where you can store all of your state. Redux is just one of them, and it's very popular. So here's my application with Redux plugged in, which is managing the store completely independent of my React components. So we no longer use this.setState to set the state values, obviously, because it's contained by Redux. So we've got a whole bunch of steps, and of course we'll look into these in great detail. How do you actually interact with Redux? But before we get onto any of that, just like we did with the React applications, we need to get some JavaScript files. So what are those files? Well, here are the ones that we needed for React, React.js, React DOM, and Babel to do the translation of things like JSX, which is the React syntax, and ECMAScript 6. For Redux to work, we need two new JavaScript files, redux.js itself and the React Redux.js, which is the bridge between Redux and React. So where do I find these? So here's where you get redux.js. You see the URL right there at the top. If you want to use it directly off the internet, you can just plug that URL into your script statement. I like to download it, which is what I've done here. Right-click and save link. Same for react.redux. Here is the URL. Go to that location, right-click, save link as, and you've got yourself react-redux.js on your local machine. Also, Cloudflare have react-redux.js. They also have Redux if you want to use an alternate location to get your files. So I'm going to keep these videos short so they're not too overbearing to watch. So thank you for watching. Good luck with your React projects, and watch the next video to learn more about how you use Redux with your React application.